Can you avoid digital marketing disasters and work towards happy endings with your online promotions? Hi everybody, Michael Guberti, digital marketing strategist, co-founder of Guberti Giving. Happy to provide this video for you as we talk about how to avoid digital marketing disasters and work towards happy endings in your marketing. So here's some what to avoid scenarios, and then we're going to work towards what ended up being the solution. So there was a company that was working with another company, and that website company was creating the website for the business. And they were working together for years. The business owner had spent thousands of dollars with them on a month-by-month basis. When it came time for the business owner to decide if they were going to renew their contract with the website company, the individual decided against it because they had heard about best practices and wanted to enhance their marketing. So at that point, the website company, upon hearing that the business owner would not renew, decided to remove access to and take down the business's website. From that point, you have to act very quickly because you don't want Google to see an error message and that to affect your SEO and then people not to return to your website because it doesn't rank anymore. So the happy ending on that was the individual business owner worked with me to create a new website in the amount of time so that the rankings were not adversely affected. We were able to switch out the two websites pretty quickly because the website company that had built it took the legs out from under the table and the table was falling, but we had planned for this and had put the legs right back in to catch it before it fell to the floor. So that was the first disaster turned happy ending. Then there was a case where there was an individual who said, I can do the SEO for a spa. And they approached the owner, they had lunch, and the owner decided ultimately against hiring this person because he didn't like the vibe. And it turned out that he was spot on because the person decided to be vengeful and leave a illegitimate, falsified, one-star Google review to the business, publicly viewable, calling them things that were totally outlandish and incorrect because the person, A, had never been a customer, B, was only doing it because they were angry that they didn't get the business. And now you've got this one-star Google review sitting for the world to see on your Google My Business account. The answer, the happy ending on this, is that we put in a review system. We installed a review system that asks the customers to leave their honest feedback in an internal form. And then that form is going to do one of two things. Either if the feedback is a 5-star, it's going to ask them to share that feedback on Google. So thank you so much for your kind words about our business. We'd really appreciate it if you leave a good review on Google. Click here to do so. If it's anything less than a 5-star review, it goes to the team and they can evaluate it and determine what the outcome is. So the ultimate fix on that was we buried the 1-star fake review because we were able to collect so much positive sentiment because the business ultimately also does provide a quality service. The next digital marketing disaster turned happy ending was related to gift cards. We had an instance where there was another spa who had their gift card program set up by an agency. And that agency connected it to the agency's Stripe account. So those $100, $200, $300, $400, $1,000 gift card sales were going into the Stripe account that the agency owned. And then the agency was transferring it to the business. Well, when the business decided to leave the agency, the agency was less prompt, less inclined to give back those thousands of dollars in gift card sales that the business had rightfully worked hard for and earned. So through some back and forth, we explained, of course, that these are rightfully our funds. Please send them to our accounts. And they did, fortunately. So one thing you want to make sure whenever you set up a gift card program is that your funds go into your payment processor or bank account or PayPal account, wherever you want to nest the resources. Then from there, we had another instance where an orthodontist had hired a company to build a mobile app for them, Android, iPhone, and it was going to explain the benefits of the business, why the services were helpful to you, and more about the business and how to contact us. Here's our phone number. The business owner decided to leave the mobile app development company because of other reasons that ultimately in some way that company was not doing what they said they would do. And at the time, owner of that business, upon hearing that the orthodontist was going to leave, in writing, time-stamped to the minute, said that this is going to be a 7-figure mistake for the practice. Years later, that orthodontist is doing just fine without the mobile app, and I can tell you that was also permanently taken away. That mobile app, custom made for the business, is gone because the mobile app company isn't surrendering the ownership of what is rightfully the business's property. But again, a nuance to make a note of: if you have a mobile app developed for you, make sure you're listed as the owner of the app on the App Store. The company who made the app was listed as the owner on the App Store. So it gives you a lot more leverage if you are rightfully listed as the owner of your mobile app. Then from there, we have an agency that went to a spa injector and said that they started promising business, essentially. You're going to be very busy. We're going to spread the word about you. People are going to be knocking down your door. So that agency got the business owner to sign a 6-month contract with them. And then once that contract was signed, the business owner did not hear from them for half a year. Went silent. It was the classic bait and switch. The company got you to sign, and they were gone. So unfortunately, also in that period of time, when the company not communicating with the business owner, and this is why I communicate with my business owners on the frequency that they prefer. If they want to have a weekly call, I have a weekly call. If they want to have a bi-monthly call for twice a month, I do that. If they want to have a monthly call, I do that. In this particular case, the spa was running an event, and the paid Google ad campaign was promoting it. The problem is that the event ended, and weeks later, that paid ad campaign was promoting an event that had already happened because nobody was monitoring it. They just turned it on, the event happened, and there was a disconnect, and then the paid campaign that you are pulling and using up your client's ad spend resources kept going. So, and it would have if not for, when I audited it, I saw that it was still going. From there, we noticed that there was in addition to the paid ad campaign about the event that had already happened, an instance where a separate spa had a website that showed pictures of the staff. The only item of interest on that is that one of the staff members was no longer there. So it was explaining how you're going to look forward to meeting this person. She's a nice person. She's very experienced, very knowledgeable. The only problem is she doesn't work here anymore. So that was what was being advertised on the site's About Us page, on the Google My Business account for the website, on the social platforms. And adding to that, the company that set up the website for that organization has it such that if anybody provides in the Contact Us forms their name, phone number, email, and a message about what treatment they want done, all valuable information about a lead, that information was sent to the staff member who left months ago. So now you have an instance where months of leads were lost, and if you calculate the lifetime customer value of an individual in your industry, in this case it was in the medical aesthetics industry, in which case the lifetime customer value is north of thousands of dollars, and then you combine that with the referral potential that a slice of those people would have referred a friend or family member who would have also had a customer lifetime value that was pretty noticeable, you're talking about a noticeable loss for the business that went on for months and was right on pace to keep going if not for an an audit. And in this particular case, when the months of leads were being sent to the individual, we have a separate instance, but also related to a contact us form, where people would fill it out and it would just not collect their information. The plugin, so now we're talking about WordPress websites, the plugin that was using, the company was using to show the contact us forms was outdated and unupdated, which means someone would enter their information, press the submit button, and it would go nowhere. The information would never get to anybody, nor be saved in any directory that you can go search for after the fact. And then that brought us to an instance where we had a person who, that same actually company, had a phone number on their website appropriately. And people would dial that phone number, and then it would tell them that you were being recorded. And the recordings were not going to the business owner, they were going to the former agency that the business owner used to work with. The agency had put the recording number on the website, on every page of the website, in deep, embedded website settings that took a while to get to and fix once identified. And essentially, those customer calls to the business were being recorded by people who no longer were affiliated with the business. So that you're not creating a good customer experience for the person calling to say you're being recorded. Kind of, it gives you a different feeling than if it wasn't said. And it's being sent to people who have no business in knowing what you're saying to your customers. So that upon looking at the site, I went in, I took it out, I put the regular phone number back in. From there, we had an instance where the spa website was showing a phone number for 3 weeks. This just happened in August. 3 weeks. This spa website showed the phone number of a business that was not their own. So 21 days of phone calls were sent to a business that wasn't theirs. And in this particular case, it's just not the most appealing thing for somebody to call a business, expecting to speak to someone from the business, get dialed into an automated response from a different business. And the likelihood that someone's going to stay through that is very low. And then how do we remedy that? We ended up putting the correct phone number on the website. So those are what to avoid in the digital marketing industry in cases that I've seen. And as far as the happy endings and the solutions, make sure you own your website. Every aspect of it. You have to own the design, which is how it looks. That's what most people usually think of when they think of a website. What is it going to look like? Where's my logo going to be? What is it going to say? What pictures are we going to have in videos? Own the design, step 1 of 3. Own the hosting, more technical. But hosting is essential to a website. It can be hosted through anything like GoDaddy, HostGator, other providers. And then you have to own the name. The name, of course, intuitive. If your name is beautifulspa.com, then you've got to make sure that you own the domain name, beautifulspa.com. Not that your marketing person owns it, not that your agency owns it, not that somebody else owns it. It's your website, you should own it. So then that brings us to the happy ending on if somebody were to leave you a fake review, like in the case of the spa I'm working with. Bury it and report it. That's really your 2 go-to strategies. You ask consistently of your customers to leave you honest feedback, and then you set up a system where if it's a 5-star review, it asks them to share on Google, and a slice of those people will, and if it's not anything about a 5-star review, it'll just be sent to the team internally for review. And then to the fake 1-star review, what you can do is just report it to Google. And in this particular case, we reported it multiple times. That's not an immediate gratification item, but it did get removed 2 years later. It did take 24 months, but it ultimately was reviewed. So from there, gift card sales, if you ever set up any gift cards programs, make sure it's sent, all the funds, to your payment processor or bank account. If you have a mobile app developed for you, make sure you're listed as the owner of the mobile app. if anybody ever tries to fearmonger you like that app company owner did by saying that you leaving them is going to be a, quote, 7-figure mistake for your business, then there's a pretty good sign that you can move on away from them with confidence. And then as to communication, an agency or anybody that you work with for your marketing should always be willing to communicate with you, and if you contact them, they should be able to contact you back within a reasonable period of time. Be responsive to your questions. And a paid ad campaign, make sure if you're running an event that you're only paying to promote the event up until the event, because if you promote the event after the fact, then there's no point. It's already happened. Staff members on your website, make sure that that's all updated. You want to show and advertise somebody who no longer is at the business. Somebody comes in looking for Joanna, and she's not there anymore. She left 5 months ago. And then, in this particular case, test the forms on your website. Where do they go? If somebody puts in their name, phone number, and email, and a message about what treatment they want or what product they're interested in, who is getting the email with that information? And then what's happening with that? Is there a follow-up process? Is it one phone call, and if they respond, great. If they don't, it's over? Well, maybe you want to have it be that one phone call. If they respond, great. If they don't, then they get an email that day. And a few days later, they get another email. And then you have just a blueprinted protocol for how to connect with people once they've shown interest. Then you want to make sure that A, they work the forms on your website, and that your phone number is correct, of course. And that if someone dials your phone number, do you get that? You have them go to an automated prompt? Do you just dial them straight into the business? Is someone available always to answer, or are they getting, how many rings go by before a phone call is answered at the business? And those are the happy endings on the digital marketing disasters. And if you want to take your digital marketing to the next level, just go to michaelguberti.com/schedule, where you can schedule a discovery call to discover if we would be a good fit to work together. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you want more strategies like this, go to michaelguberti.com. If you have any questions, feel free to inform me. I'll be happy to write back to you. And until next time, dream big, achieve greatness, and unlock your potential today. I'll see you all next time. Have a great rest of the day.